My name's Katie Hopkins, and I wanted to talk to you about this strange discrepancy between what's actually happening in hospitals and what we're being told. I think a lot of us are confused about what actually is the truth. Let me give you a very specific examples. Any of the stuff that I'm showing to you, you can see for yourself and find for yourselves. This is a conversation on BBC 5 Live. Everyone's wondering, should schools be shut or not? Adrian Charles speaks to a nurse, Laura Duffel, a matron in a London hospital. She tells Adrian Charles about the COVID situation in hospitals. And as part of the conversation on BBC 5 Live, she says it was minimally affecting children in the first wave. We now have a whole ward of children here. Take a listen to the audio clip for yourself.
It was minimally affecting children in the first wave. We have a whole ward of children here.
So that's the audio clip of that nurse saying we have a whole ward full of children here. Now, doctors and nurses were even outraged by this audio, that tweet, which now has 2 million views and is still up, is still hosted by the BBC. So we have consultants saying, I've been the on-call consultant in a London's children's hospital this week. This is simply not true. We have enough to deal with without this garbage. That's Ronnie Chung. He came straight out and said, this simply isn't true. That nurse, whatever she's saying, it's simply not the case. He blames the BBC for putting this information out there. The BBC, smelling trouble, quickly come out with this: coronavirus, no increase in severe child cases, paediatricians say. So despite them pushing the Adrian Charles interview, despite the 2 million views on Twitter, despite it still being up there without being pulled down, they also post an article to kind of make things okay, with paediatricians saying, no, there isn't. Well, at this point, what is a parent supposed to think? This nurse says there's wards full of children. This consultant says that's a lie. The BBC is hosting all of this, so what is truth and what is a lie? Should we be worried? Shouldn't we be? You know, and then others come out. So this is from the Royal College of Paediatrics and Child Health, and they're basically saying we're not seeing any pressure from COVID in paediatrics. They're saying, no, don't worry, this isn't a problem for children. This is such a confusing time for people who just want basic information. What happened to journalists just giving you information instead of activists with opinions? And do we have activists now working inside our NHS? Well, I'd argue yes. Because what do you think the head of the teachers union, Mary Bousted, did? She used that tweet. She said, this is incredibly serious, quoting the tweet, quoting Adrian Charles, and using the audio of the woman saying there are wards full of children. Then, of course, you look a bit further, look a bit deeper, and it turns out Laura Duffel describes herself as an activist. She says she's quite new to this activism. And then it turns out she was one of the ones on her knee who helped be part of, organise, coordinate a Black Lives Matter protest as well. So many questions. Why is it someone would go on the radio and say something that other consultants, paediatricians are saying is not true? Why would the BBC host and continue to host a tweet that appears to be blatantly untrue? Why are people trying to confuse us on this? Are parents not got enough on their plate without being worried about who's telling them truth and who's telling them lies? And to what extent do you want activists inside the NHS? Or perhaps you just want doctors and nurses to do their job and make sick people better again? A lot of confusion out there. Keep asking questions, challenge everything. Don't listen to me. Go and find all of this for yourself, but you'll soon see how much of this, and certainly that tweet from the BBC saying there are wards full of children, certainly doesn't seem to be adding up.